Hey, you guys, this is your coach, Dr. Andrea Dickerson here with EyeOnTheDaycare.com, where we connect childcare business owners with proven management solutions. And for today's proven management solution, I want to talk to childcare business owners, especially those of you who operate like a CEO, on how to create your very own Leadership Academy program. Today's training is going to be really good. So if you're interested in finding out how to begin at the hiring process so that you'll know exactly what to identify leaders right at the onset of being hired. If this sounds like something you'll be interested in, give this video a thumbs up. Stay tuned and I'll be right back.
Are you ready to start?
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for standing along with me. Today's training is going to be for CEOs like yourself who need to ensure that you're creating a residual framework in your business that will last for generations to come. So if you are more into creating systems that will continue to evolve and grow and to remain a staple piece in your operations, then today's training is going to knock you off your feet. First, I want to begin by showing you that the first step to creating any type of comprehensible system is to ensure that you have workflows. So here I have a pre-hiring and hiring workflow that create leaders. If you've never done workflows in your business, it's now time that you begin to move in that direction. The reason why I'm encouraging you to create workflows is so that you can clearly see what part of your business happens one after the other, from step one all the way through to your very own leadership growth program. But if you've never created workflows, it's going to be really hard for you to understand how systems work and the importance of having your framework. I want to talk to you today about this one particular framework that changed the game for me and my organization. So years ago, when I operated my company, I had built an amazing team. Everyone was established. I didn't have much call out. And I only need to hire, in between, because everybody was pretty much solid. And then one day I realized that I needed to make some changes. And as I began to make changes in my organization to grow, I had to remove a center director. When I made that decision to remove a center director, most of the staff went right along with her. So can you imagine running multiple childcare centers that require about 30 staff to you being down to only like 3 people, which was my mom, my preschool teacher, my after school teacher, and my toddler teacher. Well, I had my husband too. So my organization literally went from running like a turnkey operation to now having to hire new people and doing all of this on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday so that I can operate on Monday. So when I went through this process, I realized that number one, I must always be hiring. Number two, I needed to create leaders quickly. My life, my lifestyle, my attendance in my program, all of that had been established and built. And I was not having to work in my child care center maybe one day a week. And so when I realized that all of what I had built for years was going to be impacted, I knew that I had to hire differently. So in order for me to hire differently, I had to use automation, I had to use systems, and I had to use workflows. So to get to the place of success, here are a few tasks that I implemented in my workflow process so that I could hire and develop leaders from the start. The first thing I did was I improved my classroom processes. So by me setting up a classroom foundation system, that empowered me to have processes that I could duplicate throughout all of my classrooms. And then number two, I also improved my teacher training process. So when I began to improve my teacher training process, I knew the topics to discuss during training. I knew the best days to host my orientation. I knew how to create simulation so that I can encourage my teachers to know more about my classrooms and how to work in my classrooms even before walking in the classrooms. So by me thinking outside of the norm and creating my own proprietary processes and systems for hiring and training, I was able to ask the right questions during the interview, which coincide with my classrooms. I was able to create the proper teacher training that coincided with my classroom framework. I was able to take the classroom framework and break it down into KPIs, which were key performance indicators that I was looking for my team, those new and those that were already on my team, to be able to meet or exceed. So I had to understand my performance standards, and I came up with the words competent, the words progress, and the words mastery for my teacher rating scale. And then I was able to create a level 5 teacher training program that allowed the teachers to recognize when they were growing. And we started using Cobbler smocks so that when I had a new hire come in, they were in a certain color until they met certain requirements. And not only did they have to complete the requirement, but we had to observe whether they were proficient, competent, or had reached a level of mastery. And their incentives that was connected to the level they were on were worth fighting for. And then after having their incentives, we grew them throughout our company. So we were able to create the criteria. We were able to identify what criteria meant what level. We were able to connect incentives to that level. And we were able to show them an ascension program as they begin to develop within our program. And that changed the game for me. Well, I know that I'm not talking as fast as I normally talk because I'm literally teaching you some of the most game-changing revelation that God gave me. I remember laying on the floor crying, just really struggling with what just happened to me in my business, to trying to figure out, was God trying to tell me something? But I remember that evening going home, exhausted, tired, frustrated, but I did it. And the next day, crying some more, I heard the Lord tell me to strengthen that which remained. So then that's when I called in another teacher training. I used my Jumpstart bin, and I built all of those frameworks that I just described to you around the Jumpstart bin and made that the first stop of every teacher that came through my program. And that first stop was required for my admin to know, my kitchen staff to know, my bus drivers to know. Anybody that received a level of increase from my organization was required to know how to operate the Jumpstart bin. Well, all right, you guys, this is a new component that we've added into the Jumpstart School of Systems so that owners are able to create the same type of framework that once they hire a person, you have them on the right track towards leadership and growth in your company. Don't wait any longer for a person to be on your team for a year or 2 years before you begin to train them for leadership. Hire right from the start, train right from the start, and you'll be so glad you did. Well, all right, you guys, as always, remember, if you manage the childcare business that you love, you will love the childcare business that you manage. Bye, you guys.